Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. When General Hospital spoilers revealed this month, Lucky Spencer was leaving Port Charles and Jonathan Jackson was exiting. Fans were devastated. It seems like we just got Lucky back and he's already leaving again. Is the ABC soap going to bring in a Lucky Spencer recast, or is the character gone for good now? Keep reading to find out. Here's what coming up next on GH. Spoilers ahead. General Hospital comings and goings this week seem to indicate that Jackson's exit from the ABC soap is amicable and implied that he could return again in the future. Fans know that Jonathan Jackson is constantly working on new projects or music, so there's a chance that when GH wants him to return, he will. Be una bailable. That opens the door for a potential Lucky Spencer recast. In all fairness, the recast rumors aren't that absurd. Lucky Spencer is one of the most recasted characters on General Hospital. If you have been tuning in to the ABC soap for a while, then you know that Jonathan Jackson was the original Lucky Spencer. But the characters was also played by Greg Von Days of Our Lives and Jacob Young Bold and Beautiful. When discussing his exit with TV Insider, Jackson opened up about the possibility of GH recasting Lucky if he isn't available to return later. The General Hospital fan fave dished, "I don't really see that happening. I mean, I could be wrong, but on a personal level, I would say, well, that's too bad. As an actor, there are so many things in life that are just out of your hands. That's their decision, but obviously, I would prefer that it's just left open so that I could hopefully come back and do more work there." It sounds like Jonathan Jackson is eager to return to the Lucky Spencer role if the soap will have him. The odds of GH actually recasting Lucky again when Jackson is available and interested in coming back are slim to none. Were you sad to hear that Lucky was leaving Port Charles? In a world as ever-changing as daytime television, few roles carry the nostalgic weight and emotional resonance of Lucky Spencer on General Hospital. Originally portrayed by Jonathan Jackson, the beloved son of Luke and Laura has been a staple of the soap's legendary legacy, blending adventure, heartache, and family drama into a character fans still champion today. With recent rumors swirling about a possible Lucky Spencer recast, Jonathan Jackson has finally broken his silence, and what he had to say just might send shockwaves through Port Charles. A legacy role with unfinished business. Jonathan Jackson, who first stepped into the role of Lucky Spencer in 1993, became an instant fan favorite, winning 5 Daytime Emmys for his portrayal of the sensitive, passionate, and sometimes tortured young man who grew up in the shadow of Port Charles' most iconic couple. Though the role has been recast a few times over the years, Jackson's version remains definitive to many longtime viewers. In a recent podcast interview on Soap Talk Now, Jackson opened up candidly about the future of Lucky, his thoughts on a potential recast, and what he believes the character still has to offer with or without him. "I will always love Lucky. He's a part of me in a way that's hard to put into words," Jackson began, his voice tinged with both affection and introspection. "But just because I've played him doesn't mean the story ends with me. There's room for a new chapter, whether I'm part of it or not." Why Jonathan Jackson stepped away. Jackson, now living in Ireland and focusing on music with his band, E-Nation, stepped away from GH in 2011. Since then, Lucky has made only a few sporadic appearances, most notably in 2015 for the storyline surrounding Luke's exit. Despite the character's absence, Lucky's presence still lingers in Port Charles, especially in recent months with Elizabeth Weber once again facing upheaval in her romantic and family life. "There's a lot of beauty in what we did with Lucky and Elizabeth," Jackson reflected. "That story was real, raw, and deeply emotional. But life changes. My journey took me elsewhere creatively, spiritually, and personally. And I think that's okay." The recast rumors. What's the truth? Fans have speculated for years about a possible return or recast of Lucky Spencer. Lately, those whispers have grown louder. With Elizabeth now single following the end of her relationship with Finn, and Nicholas Cassadine stirring trouble across the canvas, many fans believe it's the perfect time to reintroduce Lucky, especially as Spencer. Cassadine's absence leaves a generational hole in the show's Spencer family dynamic. When asked directly about the recast rumors, Jackson didn't dodge the topic. "Greater than I've heard the rumors. Yeah. And honestly, I don't feel possessive about the role," he admitted. "If someone else steps in to tell the next part of Lucky's story, I would support that. What matters is that the character continues to evolve." While Jackson didn't name any actors he thought would be a good fit, he expressed hope that any recast would honor Lucky's deep emotional roots, his legacy of resilience, and his complex relationship with the people of Port Charles. What a recast could mean for Elizabeth and others. A recast of Lucky Spencer could shake up General Hospital in major ways. Elizabeth Rebecca Herbst has been navigating a period of emotional isolation, trying to raise her sons, deal with trauma, and find healing. Lucky's return could bring a tidal wave of old feelings and unresolved tension, not just romantic, but parental, especially with Jake Weber, now a teenager in need of a steady father figure. Lucky and Elizabeth have this sacred bond, Jackson said. Whether they're together or not, they will always care about each other deeply. There's unfinished business there. Lucky's return could also have ripple effects for Laura Collins, Jeannie Francis, who has had to deal with the loss of both Luke and Nicholas in different ways. And for Lulu, especially if the show chooses to bring her out of her coma at long last, who could play Lucky next? The speculation about who could take over the role of Lucky Spencer is already lighting up fan forums. Some advocate for a fresh face, an unknown with enough depth and presence to make the character his own. Others dream of a high-profile soap alum stepping in, like Michael Graziade, The Young and the Restless, or even Robert Adamson, who recently took over the role of Michael Corinthos in a guest stint. Casting director Mark Teschner has a knack for finding diamonds in the rough, and if a recast is indeed on the horizon, fans trust he'll find someone who can channel Lucky's layered complexity. Would Jackson ever return? Despite supporting a possible recast, Jackson didn't completely shut the door on returning to GH himself. Greater than never say never, he teased. It would depend on timing, the story, and what they're trying to say with the character. If the right moment came along, and it felt true spiritually and creatively, I'd be open. He went on to say that Lucky's story has always been about redemption and growth. Greater Than Lucky's had an incredibly difficult life. Addiction, betrayal, loss, abandonment. But he's also full of heart. There's room to tell a story of a man who comes back, not broken, but wiser, who reclaims his place as a father, a son, and maybe even a partner. What do fans think? Fan response has been predictably passionate. Social media erupted after Jackson's comments, with hashtags like #BringBackLucky and #LuckySpencer recast trending among the soap community, while some fans remain adamant that only Jackson can truly embody the character. Others are intrigued by the idea of a new actor stepping in to reignite Lucky's legacy. On message boards, fans have shared their wish lists of scenes they want to see: a tearful reunion between Lucky and Elizabeth, an emotional conversation with Laura about Luke, a heartfelt moment with his son Jake, and even a tense encounter with Jason Morgan, still a sore spot from their old rivalry over Liz. Port Charles could use a Spencer right now in many ways. General Hospital is primed for Lucky Spencer's return, in any form. With so many legacy characters gone, a new or returning Lucky could inject heart, drama, and familial ties back into the canvas. His presence could strengthen storylines across the board, from the Casadina-Spencer feud to Elizabeth's emotional recovery and even Ava's manipulations. Should she take an interest in the handsome Spencer returning from exile? Greater Than There's something timeless about Lucky, Jackson concluded. He's flawed but good, damaged but hopeful. That kind of character, if written right, is a gift to any actor. Final thoughts: a recast or a return? Whether General Hospital chooses to recast Lucky Spencer or lures Jonathan Jackson back for another run, one thing is clear: fans are hungry for the next chapter. As Port Charles continues to face loss, change, and evolution, the reintroduction of a grounded yet emotionally rich character like Lucky could restore a balance the show has been missing. Lucky Spencer's story isn't over, not by a long shot, and whether he walks back into Port Charles with Jonathan Jackson's soulful eyes or a new actor's fresh take, it's a story worth telling. The question is, who will be lucky enough to tell it? Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our GH News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.